Good morning, YouTube. Hi, or good evening, depends on the time that you watch this video. Hi, today we have the third video in our series design notification system. Today we will go into the deep dive. If you didn't watch the previous videos, I highly recommend you to watch them because there is a lot of context built on top of this specific video. So in order to just understand everything, just make sure that you watch the previous two videos. You'll find them in the channel anyway. So today we will talk about the design in deep dive. We will take so um in the previous episode we discussed different types of notifications, and we also talked about contact info, and we talked about gathering we talked about the flow of sending notifications. And today we will explain, maybe we'll get deep dive to explain more components. Maybe we'll talk about three main subjects. Yeah, let's just get away here. And the first thing I guess that we will talk about, it will be, let's just make it quite smaller. Yeah. I guess we'll talk about reliability. Reliability. Let's make it in numbers, please. Reliability. Reliability. Second thing we'll talk about, it will be we'll talk about additional components. Additional components. Components. And let's just make it quite smaller so it's too big. And I guess third, additional is wrong. There is missing I here. The third thing we will talk about, we will update the design actually. After talking about the two concepts, we will have the idea about how we can update our design. So first, let's talk about the reliability. So we must answer an important question about reliability, is that there is something that we should put in mind. So the question is that, first of all, we have two questions. First, can we afford any data loss? The answer for this question is certainly no. We can't afford any data loss. So the second question will be how to prevent data loss, because we can't lose any data. So one of the most requirements of any notification system is that it cannot lose data. We can't lose any data basically. Notification can usually be delayed or reordered, maybe resend. We can send notification multiple times but never being lost. And to satisfy this specific requirement, the notification system processed notification data in a database and implement a retry mechanism. So we will have two things we will do in our mind. First of all, let's just think about this one. So we will have our messaging queue. Okay. So this is our messaging queue. Messaging queue. Just make this quiet. Okay. And just make it here. And yeah. And the messaging queue is sends the request to workers, and the workers fetch the notification from the messaging queue and send it to the for example a third party, send it for third-party service. Third-party service. And the third-party service send it to the client. So first of all, we will have to try to solve our problems. We have something called a notification log. Notification log. So the notification log is we have this notification log is that to include a data persistence. So we know that we store every notification that we have into notification log. So how the flow goes to understand this design. So the queue send the workers fetch the any notification from the queues, from the messaging queue, or the messaging queue send the notification to the worker. The worker, before sending the notification to the third party, it just look at the notification log, and it looks to the ID of the notification log. And if you find the ID, we will not send the message to the third party service. If we didn't find the ID, we will send it to the third party service. And by this way, first of all, we just to prevent from happening any duplication in the notification, we don't have any duplications. The second thing, that when we have a database, maybe we could have two databases, one for the send and one for the original send. However, we will have a retry. The workers also, they are retrying all the time. So when you have a database, basically, you try first of all, we get the thing from the message queue, check it from the notification log. If we find the ID, we didn't send it to the third party service. If we don't find the ID, we send it directly. So let's just try to recap all of that. So the interviewer will ask you the following question. It will be like, will the client receive the notification exactly once? The interviewer will ask you this question 100%. And you just say to him that basically the short answer is no. However, we can just fix this problem. Basically, although notification is delivered exactly once most of the time, the distributed nature could result in duplication notifications. And to reduce the duplication occurrences, we introduce a detube mechanism and handle each failure case carefully. So let's talk about the logic and give an example. So when a notification event first arrives, we check if it's seen before by checking the event ID. If the event ID is seen before, it is discarded. Otherwise, we will send it out the notification. And yeah, this will be a great answer. So there's two things that we want to talk about. First of all, how to prevent data loss. And the answer for this one is that we will we want to satisfy, we don't want to lose any data. So the notification system persists notification data in database and implement a retry mechanism to make sure that when we have any failing, we send the message again. However, when we don't want to have any duplication, we also should track the notification ID or the event ID to make sure that we are not sending the same notification more than one time. The next thing that we'll talk about the additional components. I guess right now we talked about the reliability, so now we'll talk about the additional components, and this one, it will be quite long. So in the additional components, first thing that we'll talk about is the notification template. If you work before with sending emails, you'll find that there is something called email templates to send emails. And in a high level, a notification template. So first of all, why we need notification templates? So a large notification system sends millions of notifications per day. And many of these notifications follow the similar format. Like, for example, let's say that you're Amazon. So you find that you're sending a lot of notifications to your customers. You find that there is a lot of notifications or have the same format. For example, the received order notification, the delivered order notification, they have the same format. Maybe we have some small changes in the email and the name, or maybe the actual products, but there is a lot of similarities. These notifications are sharing with each other. So notification templates are introduced to avoid building every notification from scratch. A notification template is performed notification to create a unique notification by customizing parameters, styling, tracking links, etc. And let's give an example for this one. So let's say that we'll have a body object, okay, and inside body object, let's say that we have a string, and inside the string you will have like something thanks for your order, and maybe you have this one will be assigned for a variable. Let's say that you're using JavaScript, so use it like that. It will be name, and yeah, for example, and this is a pretty straightforward example of the test template. In the real world it looks way more complicated than that, but this is the idea. So the second thing that I want to talk about, let me just go here, and I just want to make it with numbers, please. And the second thing that I want to talk about, just to make it, I'll make this downside here. So the second thing I guess I will talk about the notification settings. I don't know if you remember, but we talked about that we need to give the user the ability to control their settings. So users generally receive way too many notifications daily, and they can easily feel overwhelmed. For example, take Facebook. Maybe you find yourself taking like 60 or 80 notifications per day, and this is pretty annoying, to be honest. So thus many websites and apps give users fine-grained control over notification settings. This information is stored in the notification settings table with the following fields that I'm going to show to you right now. So let's just try to make an example. So for example, we have a user ID, and we have this will be the user ID. Maybe it'll be big in it, and maybe we have the channel, and maybe this channel like iOS, Android, desktop, whatever. And we have the opt m, and this is actually boolean, it's true false. So if the user could control this, and if it's false, we can't send anything to him or her. It's true, we will send. So let's talk about the third thing. The third thing is the rate limiting. Rate limiting. Okay. So to avoid overwhelming users with too many notifications, we can limit the numbers of notifications a user can receive. This is important because receivers could turn off notifications completely if the field if we send too much to them. So we should build a rate limiting. Maybe like each user could get like 20, maximum 20 notifications per day, something like that. We want to talk about a retry mechanism. when a third-party service fails to send notifications, let's say example that we have our notification, maybe like about our Firebase can't send the notification, or for any reason, the notification will be added to the message queue for retrying. We will add them the notification to the message queue for retrying again. If the problem persists, an alert will be sent to the developers. Maybe we have a problem, to tell them, okay, maybe like just create a ticket with it in Slack or something like that. I guess we have to talk about the security. I guess I taught mechanism wrong. There is no I here. Security. So when talk about security for iOS and Android apps, we'll use app key and app secret are used to secure push notifications. Only we will care about the only authenticated users or verified clients are allowed to send notifications using our APIs. Maybe we can talk about this in deep, but like for this question, you only need to know in pretty high level. So there is no need to go deep into this one, because it's a pretty important aspect actually. I guess 6 we'll talk about monitoring. Here a key metric to monitor is the total number of queued notifications. If the number is large, the notification events are not processed fast enough by workers. And to avoid delay in the notification delivery, more workers are needed to help them. And yeah, so basically monitoring, it's telling you the status or the health or what's going on with your applications. So it's needed. Maybe you could have something lost. It's maybe like something called event tracking. And this one is this one is pretty interesting, because notification metrics such as open rate, click rate, and engagement are important in understanding customer behaviors. Analytics service implements events tracking. Integration between the notification system and the analytics service is usually required. So let's just say how the flow actually of this thing is work. So for example, let's say that we have the notification didn't start here. So we go to pending state, and from the pending state we could have two states. One is error, and the other one is sent. And from the send state we also could have we could also be error. We could also not have the ability to send. Also from the send state we have the delivery, or the client. Let's say client. I like saying client more. And from the client, maybe the client is doing one of two things. Maybe it's clicked. Maybe he clicked, or maybe he unsubscribed. Let's say unsubs. So yeah, this is the flow of the event tracking. So I guess right now we finished. We talked a lot about a lot of components. So I guess it's a good idea to talk to update the design. And let's just make this white. So this is our designer. Okay. So we have a service, and we have a notification servers, but we want to add some things to the notification server. So just to kind of make this one bigger, because I want to add to it. First of all, I want to add. Let's make it with color, because I guess it will be better with color. Rate limiting, as we talked about, and also for security, we will add authentication. Okay. In the cache and the DB, everything is still the same. We will have our message queue. However, when we deal with the workers, I just want to delete all of this extra. Let's just delete them. Okay, so let's say that we have the workers. If it didn't work, we can I make I don't want to make it like that. Yeah, if it didn't work, we'll retry here. So let's just say retry, and I just want to make it bigger. And if also to make sure that we don't have any lost data, or maybe we not have any duplication, we have notification log, as we said. Notification log. This to have no and let's have another one here, and just tool here, and we want to have notification template. Let's just make this one quite wider, and maybe also there's something it's quite important, which will be we want to calculate the user activity. So we will just maybe let's just, it will be analytics service. Just make it smaller, and let's make this one way more smaller. Yeah, this is better. Just okay. And from the analytics service, we will have, it will be, first of all, it will be the state will be pending, and we will try to the client also. Let's just put the analytics service here, because all of the services will send to it. So let's say that we have a client. Let's say that we have only one client. Yeah, okay. Let's assume that we have only one client, and the client will send the click tracking will be sent from the client to the analytics service. Click tracking, and also the workers, if the workers send the message, the extra notification, they will say, oh, sorry. Let's create another one here. Yeah, this will be sent, and maybe we will have yeah, I guess that's it. So let's just talk about what's going on here. If first of all, if you didn't watch the previous video, I guess you will be lost. So I highly recommend you to watch the previous video, so you understand what we are doing here. So in this design, many new components are added, as you can see. The notification servers are equipped with two more critical features: the authentication and the rate limiting, as you can see. We also added a retry mechanism to handle notification failures. If the system fails to send notifications, they are put it back in the messaging queue, and the workers will retry for a predefined number of time. Furthermore, notifications templates provide a consistent and efficient notifications creation process. Finally, monitoring and tracking system are added for system health checks and future improvements. So that's it for this video. I guess we have one more video. We will wrap everything up. I don't know if I will do it though or not, because I guess there is nothing to do that much. Or I will tell you something. I could just make the wrap up right now. Or what? Let me think. Because there is not that much in the wrap up. It just to be like 5-6 minutes or something like that. Let me think. You know what? Let's make another wrap up video. We'll make it tomorrow or something like that. So it will be better for you to try to see the wrap up. I'll just try to work on it a little bit. I can just say what everything, but I guess it will be too much for this video to talk about the deep dive and also the wrap up. So it's just good to keep it on the wrap up. So that's it for this video. I hope you like my content, and yeah, see you in future problems.